Suzuki Sensei told me when I started training, the left hand is the secret to Iaido. Sean, thank you for inviting me for this presentation on the nukitsukei and the noto. Happy to be here. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much, Sensei. I appreciate you doing
Let's just do a bow, okay? We'll turn toward the shins and we'll do standing bow. Place the sword in the right side. Show me right. And let's bow to each other.
Sensei, ni rei. Onegaishimasu.
Okay, Sean. So I wanted to do two things today in today's practice is the nukitsukei and the noto. Okay, and they're basically the same kind of motion, working with the hands working the same way. Most people don't understand how to use the left hand, and that's one of the things that I want to leave to everyone is the idea that the hands have to work together, and that sounds like most people would know that, but most people don't. Most people do a lot of right hand, not so much left hand. They don't use the left hand correctly, and so on. So as far as the practice goes, let's think of the hands are going to separate in attack, and they're going to join in closing. Okay, so think of those two things. Think of the left hand as the internal part of the practice. The left hand stays close with the saya inside the body. The right hand extends and is expressive, so it's more like the yang or the outward pressure putting out, where the other side is retreating and kind of pulling back and allowing for that to happen. So this is a perfect balance of the yin yang and the way the body is meant to move. For instance, when people do punches, they never do just a punch like this with one hand. Okay, the body has to work separately. You have to have two things happening. So one hand goes out, one hand goes back. This is the same idea. You see that motion there? That's the same thing like the punch. And people should think of that, especially people that do multiple arts like karate and Iaido. Okay, so the first point I want to make note of here for everyone is that when you release the saya, when you take the saya off here, right about here, and down in this part here, you could see that binding. This is the part that gets everyone in trouble when they're drawing the sword. They don't know how to adjust this, and I'll show you the adjustment. There it is right there. Okay, I just did that with my left hand. That's the adjustment for the sword, so it doesn't bind as it's coming out of the belt. Okay, so if we're doing this now, if you wanted to look at a sword, if you took someone's sword and you looked at it, you would never try to take the right hand out and not use the left hand, right? No one would ever do that. They separate the two hands. Okay, as they separate them, they should be smart enough to take the pressure off the blade by slightly lifting this saya up as it comes out. So that has to happen in the belt. That has to be happening in the belt, and it most of the time doesn't for most people. Okay, so let's do a couple of nukitsukeis, right? We'll just start here. Bring the elbows against the body. Come in here, light grip, push, roll, boom. Okay, and then we're going to do noto. We're going to go here. We're going to go forward and press in. See my left hand pressing in right there? And then you close up. Okay, you have to get the sword aligned so that it can close. The same thing when you attack. If you don't align it, you'll have binding in the saya. Like right here, a lot of times people, I'm going to see my saya starting to want to go around behind me. If it goes behind me while I'm here, it's going to bind. So I want to press it. Watch the saya behind me. Let me see if you can see that. Can you see the saya where it is there?
Yes, sir.
Here it's behind me, and it shouldn't be behind me yet. It should still be behind the sword. See that position?
Yes,
then
sir.
That's where it's going to allow the clear release of this from the saya. Okay? I always tell my students, the only thing stopping you from attacking with the sword is the saya. Okay? It's going to get in the way, and it's going to bind, and it's going to present a problem for cutting. Okay? So we want to be moving the left hand away, rolling it, pressing in, and then cut. Okay? So this is the first point that I'll give you on here. Well, let me give you the first point, pinching. Like a lot of people don't understand what the sword is doing down here, pinching. You're down here at the Shinogiji area at the bottom, and you're doing this very light pinch, kani basami. The kani is the crab, kani basami is the crab pinch, right? So right here, the whole time right now, see that? I've got a little pinch on it, otherwise the sword would be falling out, but it's so slight that the sword is going to keep moving. See it? It's very, very slight. Okay? If I didn't have that, it would drop right out, right? So you got this light feeling, okay? So we're going to go out, have that light press in right here. Take the front of the hand, think of the thumb index, and try and push it inward toward your body. That's going to take off the pressure. Continue to pull the saya straight back. Once you feel the kisaki, that's when you're going to turn, okay? So we're going to go here, up, and close. Okay? So that's 1 point. Actually, 2 points. You got the pinch, and you got the when to turn over. In Muso Shinrin-ryu, people turn over at different times. Muso Shinrin-ryu generally turns over a little bit past this halfway mark. Seitei got the pulls way down to the bottom, then turns over and goes out. One of my favorite ways to do nukitsukei, and turn right, yeah, right? Okay? So, all right, so we're going to go out, rotate, start to press in here. Boom. Okay, so now we're going to have this feeling here. Let me show you up real close. When I go down, if I have my squeezing here along here, and I get down to the spot here, right by the boshi, the yokote area, right there, that's where the swords can turn and get into the koiguchi. Okay, not before. It's not going to happen. If I tried to do that from here, it's on the outside of my hand. See that? So I go right down to there. Once I feel that, that's when this press-in happens all the time. Okay? So conversely, when you're doing the attack, you have to have that same position on this outward spot here. See that? See where it is? If I let it get around, it's going to pinch. I want to have it right behind, then go behind. Okay? So I'm going to tell you when it's right here. See that? See the way I could rotate that and the kisaki goes right in? Because I'm right at the boshi, the bottom part of the sword, or the tip part of the sword. Okay? That's critical. You want to make sure that that's the spot. Okay? So that'd be 2 points on the nukitsukei. Yeah, 2 points on the nukitsukei, right? 1 is pinching. 2 is rolling, actually. 3 is having the saya behind. That's going to be 3 right there. 1, 2, and 3. 3 points. I'm losing track of my points I'm giving you here. Okay? Oh, no. Okay, so here it is again. Ready? Go out, pinching, rolling, pressing in, right? Align the saya at the end, make sure, and go. Now, right here, we could do this with the noto. So watch what we're going to do. We want the left hand to start to travel back because the left hand has to be in place before the right hand. So start the left hand, start the right hand moving to the side first. Okay? Once you get to here, think of the right hand going forward. At the same time, the left hand has to be going back. Okay? So once again, we would go to the side, forward, rotate the left hand in. Okay? Looks like this from the side. Side first, forward, and then in. Here's the opposite side. From here, we're going side and then forward, press and close. Okay. Questions?
And the rotation, yes, sir. When does the saya go back?
It's going to start right away as soon as, well, the first thing you want to do is press in. You want to cover the kisaki, right? So that's the first thing you do. This would be the first thing. Always think for safety. Boom. That's the protection. Now, the left hand starts. I would put the left hand 4 inches or so onto the sword, and then let the right hand travel because the safety is there. Okay, if you've got this much sword covered, let's say you went down to about here on the sword, it's less chance of it's going to jump. Okay, if you try to push the sword in from here, you might get the angle wrong. It sticks into the side of the inside of the side, which a lot of people do. I had somebody do that in my class last night. I saw a little push into that, and I said, "Oh, you hit the inside of the side." Yeah. That was an improper alignment of the 2 hands. They have to be perfectly aligned. Okay. Let's do 5 nukitsukei. I call them nuki-noto, right? So we'll do nukitsukei, we'll do noto, right? One at a time. Ready? Come up and 1. And again, ready? Come up, knee. Ready? Sun. Two more, ready? Shi, up. Last one. Ready? Go. Okay. All right. So we want to make sure that the left hand always leads and is back before we want the sword to attack. Okay. Let's take the yoko ichimonji, the horizontal cut. All right. So if we're heading up here, let's say that this is my line that I'm going to cut at right here, just below my shoulder, right? Right about here. See where my hand is here? I just dropped it about an inch or so. That's when I want the saya to be ready to pull off and go behind. So in other words, I wouldn't get all the way up to here. And let me show you how much sword. See the way I'm at my cut line. That's the way the sword's supposed to be cutting. But watch here. Watch here when I take my sword out, how much sword is left. You see that? There's 4 inches of sword left there. That's impossible to make that cut there and it be correct, okay? So from here, when I get up to this spot here, I'm just below my level. Maybe it should be about there. I'm just below. This would be my level here, okay? So right here is where I'm pulling my saya off, and then it comes up. Then you would come up that last little bit and then move across. But you want the saya off before you hit the top line, okay? You want your saya in the back, behind, and I'll see if you can see it up front. All right, I'm going up. Right here, my saya is ready to come off. Then I'm going to go up a little bit and across. So go up, saya off, lift your hand slightly more, and then continue. So you would have this. You would have a, let's say this is where you got your saya off. You would have a slight lift up, and then also a rotation of your wrist. Your pinky is going to be higher than your thumb as you get to the spot here. So you're going to have to press down with your pinky. That's going to level the sword for the horizontal line. Yeah. Okay. And most people leave that out. So I make this correction all the time with my students and people starting where they come up and they're heading almost on an angle up. Okay. Now that's a cut, but it's not a yoko ichimonji. That's not a level horizontal cut. Level horizontal cut is level and horizontal. It doesn't have this angle. You can still cut on a diagonal, but it's not what we're talking about, right? We're talking about a straight horizontal cut, not a slight diagonal. Okay, so, and the way to do that is to just take this hand from here. You see the way my pinky's higher than my thumb? It has to come out and level. Now they're both level, and it could come across. And it's done with the wrist at that point. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about this right hand position, because this is a big problem for most students. They get to here, they put a death grip onto the sword. They try to move it and they get to here, and now my elbow's locked and I can't do anything. So they wind up adjusting their hand a different way so they could go the rest of the way. Okay, this is notorious. I see them do it all the time. Same thing with the attack. They'll grip the sword, they'll go here, and they'll head out with the elbow heading toward the target. And again, you can't attack from there. This is the whole motion of the sword is almost going to be like a little marionette puppet. Boom. The only time we're going to be gripping is when we take the sword tip comes out. There's no grip on the sword until the sword comes out. This is where the sword grip, then come across. Okay, now the other side of that, when we do noto, we have grip here, we're holding, and we just go to here. Once we get to here, we get to that marionette type feeling where we have a puppet, where we're holding. Let's think of the sword like a puppet. So you want this to be loose. You want it to be able to flow. See all the space under my hand there? Yeah, I got my pinky up in here. I'm lifting these fingers just so you could see. You're not holding. Most people are going to want to do this to draw. And then when they try to do the noto, they try and do this and they can't do it. So right here, you got this little, you should be able to hold the sword with your pinch if you're doing this right. You're right here, just let go of the sword. Sword moves out, boom, and close. Okay? So it's all this relaxed position. And so when we dress the sword here, we dress it on approximately a 45 degree. We got a squeezing push motion to it, like a mouth here pushing this forward. Okay, the fingers are lightly wrapped around, so you don't usually see that what that looks like, but it's really just this, and then right there it closes down. When the tip is sword is leaving the koiguchi, that's when it's going to come out. Boom. Okay, so give it a push. Take the saya off. Boom. Right? Yep.
More.
Yeah, and the left saya, the saya moves the whole time. This is the other point of the balance of the way we use the sword, is that when people will move one hand, maybe the other, and they're separate. Think of the attack where both hands are moving the whole time. So watch my left hand. See that?
Yes, sir.
That's going to move the whole time. Now, same thing with the noto here. My left hand will be moving all the time that the right hand is moving. This is what's common. The left hand will move slightly, stay where it is, and the right hand will do all the rest of the work. Okay? That would be incorrect. There's no balance in it, and there's no softness in it. So right here, the left hand moves, all the while the right hand is moving. They're in constant motion. The left hand back the whole time the right hand is moving. There you go. See it? Okay?
Yes, sir.
So
I was moving this hand the right way, but the wrong time. I would
wrong
come
timing. Yeah.
and
You could have, yeah, and
that's the
other
there.
That's the other part of the practice. You can have the ingredients, but you don't have them at their proper time and positioning. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Another point about when we're doing these motions, let's say particularly the noto. A lot of times you'll see people come up. They come up like that. Okay. So you have to think of the noto. The noto contains Zanshin, which is a awareness of the fighting and all around the surrounding, right? If you wanted to, if this is the way we nukitsukei for this particular motion, we wouldn't want to put the sword back like this.
Right.
What good would this do? What good would this do coming in on this angle in relation to the Zanshin, the awareness that we need in the rest of what's going on in the practice, right? So this is our awareness for the practice. Then when we're done, we want to keep that, see the way that's all in the same way? It's all connected, that it's inside this area here with Zanshin, right? That come down, and then now think of that coming the same way to go back. So you just adjusted your grip there when you went to move. So yeah, you should have relax your right hand, Sean. So watch. When we come back to here, as soon as I hit this point here, I'm going to exaggerate this. Watch. Boom. I came to here and I'm boom. And now I just lifted this hand and relaxed it. And then you won't do this. 1, 2, 3. When we come back to here, as soon as I hit this point here, I'm going to exaggerate this. Watch. Boom. I came to here and I'm boom. And now I just lifted this hand and relaxed it. And then you won't do this. 1, 2, 3. You want to do it as it's touching down. So right here, that's where it relaxes. Right? Yeah, as soon as it touches, relax. Take this right hand. The right hand is definitely gripping the sword. Let's say we did an ochiburi or we did a kochiburi. It's gripping the sword right here, relaxes. Boom. Yeah, as soon as that sword touches down. So that's another one. That's another one you'll see in class for the beginners always. They'll touch down. They've got a grip here. Then they reset the hand a little bit looser to get the sword to move. It should set as you touch down with the other hand, because the other hand takes the weight from here. As soon as I go here, boom, I took the weight over here with my kani basami. Okay, so as soon as this kani basami touches, the right hand relaxes. Right hand relaxes. Boom, and goes in. And again, you want to keep this. You want to keep this level, the right hand level that it's at. So right here, boom, that's where it relaxes. Right? Yeah. As soon as it touches, relax. Take this right hand. The right hand is definitely gripping the sword. Let's say we did an ochiburi or we did a kochiburi. It's gripping the sword right here, relaxes. Boom. Yeah. As soon as that sword touches down. So that's another one. That's another one you'll see in class for the beginners always. They'll touch down. They've got a grip here. Then they reset the hand a little bit looser to get the sword to move. It should set as you touch down with the other hand, because the other hand takes the weight from here. As soon as I go here, boom, I took the weight over here with my kani basami. Okay, so as soon as this kani basami touches, the right hand relaxes. Right hand relaxes. Boom, and goes in. And again, you want to keep this. You want to keep this level, the right hand level that it's at. Like keep it right at that level and come forward as much as you can. Yeah. Yeah. And then keep it in line. Careful you don't go to the center. Right?
That's what I want to ask next.
No, you don't. You want to have your alignment on a diagonal. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to do this. You want to go to here. Now here's the alignment. Now all that has to happen is they move along that plane to get back to their center. Alignment and center. Yeah. So you want to do this. You want to go to here. Now here's the alignment. Now all that has to happen is they move along that plane to get back to their center. Alignment and center.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I thought it had to come, the kashira had to be on the center line there.
Keep it coming in from where it is. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, because your left hand has to adjust that. See that? Your left hand has to adjust where we're coming in from. If I wanted to come in on this angle here, watch what I would do. I would take my left hand way across and go this way. Okay. Here's another rule you could think of on your practice. Think of the right hand. The right hand belongs to the right side of the body. The left hand belongs to the left side of the body.
Okay.
They shouldn't violate it. Like if you're gonna do a noto, you wouldn't put your left hand way over here, right? Okay. If you want to do it, you're going to start from the center, move to the left side. Right hand's going to say, see right here? This right hand is not going to violate the center of the body on our style, like muso shin or my style. Okay.
Right.
It's going to stay within the right half of the body. So it finishes here, which is center off here. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. That's an important point. Okay. So there's a couple of points on the nukitsukei and the noto. All right. Yeah, the important point of practice is, first of all, we have to have correct technique. It's got to be functional. In the functionality, there's the safety of it and so on, right? Got to have that. And you have to have repetitions of the correct technique over and over and over with for the muscle memory, brain-body connection, right? With that, you draw on the mushin, which is the no-mindedness, the ability to do the technique without thinking about it. When we fight, we can't think when we're fighting. There's not enough time to think. We just react to what our body has been conditioned to do. So we've got to get this technique that, number one, that it's mindful, that everything we're doing, we know exactly what it is, why it does what it does. That's the first, let's say, first level. The next level is repetition. Then it's assimilated, it's brought into the mind, body, and then it becomes where it just, boom, it happens on its own. That's what we're pushing for in our practice, okay? Like I was saying to you before, and if we're teachers, we should feel like we're almost like we're doctors and we're troubleshooters when we're watching our students, okay? The students in front of us, they haven't, their ailment is their technique, all right? Their positions, whatever it might be. So we want to make sure that we can give them the solutions to that, guide them with a set way of practicing on how they'll develop it. Like I always take all my drills have a particular part of a problem in mind to fix. Okay, like let's see. For instance, I do a rolling drill, a 3-step rolling drill. This is one of my practices. So just turn your left side toward me a little bit, Sean, and just turn that way. Right. So first move is we're going to pull out and we're going to make sure that we're touching the belt. Okay, so this is part of the left hand development. We don't want to move the sword and no saya right here because it's wasting time. Okay, so move the sword, move the saya 1. Okay, that's the point where we're getting around to where we're going to start to turn. So we're going to start to turn the sword by turning the saya. And then at the same time, we're going to start to press in. So go to here, start to turn, press in. Now you're going to go right to the tip. Right here, watch them coming over. I'm going to move my fingers and watch where my finger is. See where that thumb is right on the tip? That's where I would like my sword to be when my left hand is back to the point where I'm getting ready to attack. Okay? So that's step 2 on us. Okay? So this was 1. We go to here, we touch the belt. Number 2, buries the left hand further as the sword rotates and goes up. Okay? And now number 3 is, the first thought in my mind is on number 3 is the saya coming off, then the sword attacks. Not the sword attacking. So we go up to here, boom. Boom, 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 and close. Yeah, so you want to make that press in. The press in gives you the alignment, right? So 1 to 2, pressing in. Saya should be behind the sword at that point. It shouldn't turn around the body yet, right? And now you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay? And there's a line from the shoulder to the tip of the sword. Okay? There shouldn't be any kinks in it. Like, see that angle where I just put the tip of the sword below my hand and below my shoulder? There should be a straight line from the shoulder down to the tip of the sword. Okay? And the tip of the sword should always be inside the wrist. Don't let it carry outside past here because this is our territory, our real estate of the practice and the fighting, right? The more we bring this sword out to the side, the longer it's going to take to come back in here and get back into action, right? And there's no need for it. We're doing our cut. Seite does the cut from here to here. Kodo does the cut across the whole body. Okay, that's all you need to do is go that amount of position right there, tip always inside. Okay, so let me see if I covered everything that I wanted to talk about. I put down a list I woke up with it in my head this morning to share with everyone.
Right.
All right. This is a point I call stacking. Okay, everything we do with any martial arts, there's a method of the practice, and I call it stacking. Okay, so from point 1, when we reach for the sword here, this is a stack. I've stacked my right hand in front of my left hand to start the draw. Okay, and now they move away from each other. All right, so that's 1. Well, okay. Now for the next move, which we do is what's called furikaburi, we want to bring the hands toward each other, and everybody does this slightly different. But let's say my teacher taught it this way. Okay, look at the stacking now. I've got my left hand under my right, my elbow's touching my body, and my 2 hands are going to work together. See my left hand waving?
Right.
Boom, that's going to join there. Okay, this would be a misstack. That's 3 different parts. Okay, this is going to be a late left hand. See that? There's no unity in that. Okay, there's no fluidity in that. They have to work together. So when this hand comes in, this hand goes under, releases, boom, and cuts. Okay, so it's all points like that. Where does your hand go next to conform to what has to happen in the next technique, whether it's a cut or whatever it might be? Okay, that's very important. Boom. Okay, so that's a point I call the stacking feature of all our practice. I do with my karate too. For instance, when we're going, like this is a kata we do, super empe. When I'm going here next, I'm just going to roll this way to make my next side. See it? I want this motion here to go right up to here, for that's the stack. That's the stack for the second motion where I'm going to the side. Okay, those things have to be smooth and in connection with what the body's doing. Okay, one other point I'll give you on the way the saya is. Think of the left hand. Suzuki Sensei told me when I started training, the left hand is the secret to Iaido. It's so true. Most people don't use the left hand correctly, period, even on a straight cut, but they're even worse on turning cuts. Okay, here's a turning cut. Let's say sato, the second kata, or any kata where you're turning to your left for an attack, right? When they move, then they really don't know they'll either go this way with the right hand, going to the side when they should be attacking that way, and so on. So when you understand what the left hand will be doing, your left hand would be pulling in, and this is going to start to point the sword that way, but it's also taking the saya off for when I get to the spot here for the attack, okay? So at the same time I did that with my left hand, and you see how if you do that correctly, the motion of your right hand, left hand turning of your hip will take the sword right out. I'll do it without stepping, and I'll just rotate into the cut. Watch. Boom. Okay, and you're going to go right into it. Think of your right hand going straight toward me, left hand coming alongside your body and back away.
Which foot steps out?
You could just pivot if you're doing a standing. Yeah, for sato, you could just drop your weight. Now watch. See my left hand went back? See it back? By the time I turned, yeah, because I really just took the sword off of my body by positioning my left hand there and turning my body. So once I position my left hand here, I'm going to try and do this without using my left hand anymore. See what I could do. See what I did? I turned my body and the sword came out of the saya. Imagine if your left hand is contributing and helping with that, it's going to be even easier. Okay, see it? Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
again, I always do this with Ryuto. This is one of the most difficult people to do is this draw on Ryuto. Boom. Okay.
Uh,
Very difficult for most people. Okay. Number one, they start to go this way and then come back. That's
that's
incorrect
what
because
you
you want to draw right above where you're sitting, right? Or in this case, we'd be sitting down. But this is what I'm going to do first. Watch the parts of it. I'm going to start toward here, heading toward where the attack is, instead of going that way. Okay. I'm going to be pulling my left hand back. I'm lowering my weight. Watch what happens if I lower my weight and take this hip down. I'm going to get to here. Now watch my left hip. See the way the sword came out? I didn't use my right hand at all. Okay. So these are the things that have to be understood on the positioning of the body and the way the left hand moves to expedite everything happening. Okay.
Hi.
I don't, Sean, so go ahead. You want to try one of those? Just
Sure.
try that opening deflection there
For
on the
you
Ryuto.
don't, I'm familiar with the motion. Is it here because you're receiving a cut
Yeah.
here?
Right.
And then I'm not sure if you're cutting there, or there, but
Yeah. In Ryuto, we're stepping off. In Ryuto, we would be blocking here, moving outside, boom, and counterattack here.
there.
Yeah, counterattack into the body, and we do like a plie type position to make the cut. Then we pull back,
Just stepping
then
into it here.
reverse sword, noto. Yeah, that's Ryuto. That's the 6th kata in the Omori-do. Yep.
There, and then
Okay.
cutting here.
Just you would be stepping away and then coming back. Yeah. I'll show you that when we get into the training. You were working on the first 4 katas, right? Maybe
Right,
the first 4 or
So this
5
is
of
totally new to
Omori-do.
me.
Okay. So all of this stuff, for everyone that practices, Omori is the foundational, it's the Shoden level of the Muso Shinrin-ryu, the Muso Jikiden Shinrin-ryu. So it's a foundational level, but a lot of times people just leave it in that spot and they don't do anything else with it. There's a lot of good information in there that can be expanded and give you more practice with the Omori-do that I do. So, but you have to have these points and get that strong foundation before you go into the Chuden or the middle level and the Okuden, the secret level, and so on. Okay.
That's
So
why I haven't done anything but the first 4. I don't have
yeah,
those mastered. There's not
yeah,
much
yeah,
point in anything else.
yeah. And they're really the same. They're really the same kata, just different directional methods of it. And this is common. What people don't understand. People think that katas are one pointed and that's it. They're not. This is a prime example. The Omori-do starts with shohato forward kata, sato left, uto right, atari-to behind you. It's the same kata. It's just using it in different directions. Okay. If we subdivide that into 45s, we do shohato on this line. Boom, over here. If we do left, boom, we do it on that side. Okay, these are 45-degree angles. This is all part of the practice. Once you get the foundation, you get to move it into all these other different directions. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to say that I run classes 2 days a week at night, and then I do my Zoom classes every day with individuals, private lessons, and so on. So they're open to anyone. What I just covered in the points that we just did are in my video Hidden Movements of Japanese Swordsmanship. We'll put a link at the bottom of this when we get done with it, right, Sean? And then if people want to look at that and get the all 15 points, I'll be happy to share the 15 points with them, just going to the link that we set up. And then also, if they wanted to buy the video, they could buy the video. Anyone who buys the video, I will give them a 15-minute Zoom with any question they might have on either the video or anything that they're doing with the Iaido that has to do with particular kata or whatever. If it's within my range of the stuff I do Muso Shinrin-ryu is my core. I also supplement that with Muso Jikiden Shinrin-ryu, Shindo Munin-ryu, Seitei Gata, Keishiru. I do Kendo Kata, Kumitachi. I do all the different parts of that. I've studied a little bit of Mugai-do. So I have an experience with a lot of different things. So I can probably help people with other things too. But there are things, it doesn't matter what style you're at. There are things that are set and with mechanics in the way we do things that should be the same no matter what style you're doing. They should make sense with what you're doing. Okay, so I'd be happy to do that. If anyone went to the site, got that video, I'd give them 15 minutes. Also, Like I said, if you want to get the full 15 points, I divide the draw into 15 points. Okay. First 5 points, elbows against the body, hand to the sword, right hand squeezes gently and pushes, left hand moves forward slightly off the koiguchi. Okay. We push with the thumb off of here. And then the fifth is that pinch where we drop our hand right here. And right now I'm pinching the base of the sword. And there's a way to do that where if you have a live blade, you're not going to worry about cutting yourself. People always say, how are you going to do that if there's a way that I have to do it. I use a live blade, and I have never cut myself with that motion, so, yeah. Okay. So that, also my seminars that are coming up for 26, I have a seminar on the 24th in Houston, Texas. We'll put up details on that if anybody's in the area, or if anyone would like to zoom in there. It's a 3-hour seminar on all the details and some of the styles that I do. My next seminar would be in Philadelphia, and that is going to be February 28th. That's a Saturday. Philadelphia, same thing. It'll be Zoomed as well. They could either participate in person if they're on the ground in the area, or they could Zoom in, okay? I have people that Zoom in from overseas, Uruguay, different countries, and so on. And then the other one would be, the last one would be in New Jersey, in Rutherford, New Jersey, and that's on March 1st, same thing. On the ground, and then also with the Zooms. Welcome to join that. If anyone were interested in joining the classes, we'll also put a link there for joining the Zoom classes that I do on Monday and Wednesday night. Okay? Any questions on anything, Sean?
Anything I do have one, if I could, on Uto, if I remember correctly. You taught me this, and it opened my mind up. The same thing with atari-to, to the proper
turning,
right hand.
Turning for Sato, yeah.
Because with Sato and atari-to, what I learned was this coordination with the two hands. It really brought it out, because you had said the right hand is pushing straight on the line you're cutting, and I went, oh, cut into my saya. That's the first thought you have, and then and the left hand's of course doing all the work in terms of drawing that off. But sure enough, I did it, and there was this moment where. I'm still doing that noto wrong. There was this moment where I felt it. And I said to Erica the same thing, like, oh my, I coordination, not just that they were both moving, but that they were both moving perfectly in unison. So is that correct? That cutting hand is just going forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, you want to do it? Yeah, do one. Just do the turn with it. Yeah.
And so it's
okay. So, the everything we're doing in all the arts is compound motion. You got body movement, maybe you got arm movement. So I like to take, and this is part of what I do at all my drills. I've got drills for the nukitsukei, the noto, the chiburi, kitsukei, whatever it might be. I have a drill for it, okay? And the idea is to identify what's happening with each part of it. Like I said, we divide this into two sides, right, for practice, and then they come together in the mushin where it's ours and we own it, okay? So the left hand, if you're talking about sato, you can't, people don't, you give them, excuse me, that's, you can't give somebody, especially a beginner. Now, mind you, we're even doing this from standing. You've got a beginner in Seiza doing this kata. The core kata is done in Seiza. So now they're wrestling with, how the hell do I turn my body, get on the balls of the feet, launch myself forward, and so on. You got that. Multiply that with when does the left hand, is the left hand going to go out here? Is it going to come back? Where's it going to go? So I identify the separate things. And this is the first thing I would do, like with that drill I just did with you. Turn here. The left hand is going to see that the left hand is helping to bring the sword online with the frontal attack. The left hand is also pulling the saya back right here. And right about here, my sword would almost be fully extended and then ready to just go the rest of the distance with the hip. And like I showed you before, I could just once I get to this spot here, I could just turn the hip a little bit more and make the cut without using my left hand, simply because everything was in the proper place for it to function, okay? So again, if you want to attack this way, don't take the sword anywhere else, but take this hand and do that with it, okay? And in this part here, and I almost never say to pull the sword. We're really not pulling the sword. We're squeezing it and pushing it. Okay? It's like this. Yeah. See the way you just put your hand like this? It's a push. It's not lift the elbow up and pull, which is what people think. We don't pull the sword out of the scabbard. We push the sword out as we pull the saya off. That we do. Okay. So with this one, if I'm turning to the right, I press my left hand against my body, and you see the sword is in position right now, right? Okay. At the same time, when I lifted my sword forward, then I'm in position to attack. Okay. So this is all the stuff that I like to do to present to my students and help them progress faster, so they understand right off the bat. One of the things that I do with the sai, I learned this particular first move from Shimojo Asuji Sensei from Japan. Okay, we did a motion here. We were trying to explain to the students about sayabiki. Okay, because most people don't get it. So he starts with the saya way out here, leaves the right hand where it is, and then takes the saya off. Okay, so there's no mistake that if you're starting like that with your students, that they're going to understand that your left hand takes the saya off, because you can't draw the sword out. You can't draw the sword out from here, right? You have to take the saya off. Yep. So that's the practice. That's the way I always start my students. And again, that when I got that from him, that's one of the things I got from his instruction. I took that and then I developed it further with a half draw, and then a full from here, and so on. So I made a 3 or 4 step process of it. So it takes it from the idea of taking the left hand off to then engaging it with the right hand into the attack. So it gave it another part to it. Okay. And this is what I like to do. I've been doing it. I started, my sword practice started in 1980. My official training under Mitsuzuka Takeshi started in 1984. And I was with him up till his death, when he passed. Okay, so that's the history. So it's 35, 40 years of training with the sword. Okay, and a lot of looking into the details of how it moves, the mechanics. And everything is in the mechanics, and then putting together drills that nourish the mechanics and help them develop. Then they become mushin, they become part of your body.
Hi.
Okay, Sean?
Thank you,
All righty,
Sensei.
so good meeting with you today. I hope all those points helped, and I hope everyone watching, I hope those points are beneficial. If you need me for anything, I'm available. Just contact me through the links, and look forward to getting together with you for a Zoom or some sort of practice on the floor. Okay? So, Sean, let's finish up, okay?
Hi.
All right, so ready? Well, dato, release the sword. Bring the sword up, cutting edge forward, approximately eye level. Keep the sword in place where it is. Bow, leave the sword where you're holding it. Come on back down. Okay. Place the sword at the left hip. Pause here. Close to the body. Transfer the sword to your right side. Make a bow. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
And then let's do a shomen bow or shinzen. So, right, and transfer the sword back. And just step away, left foot, and begin this way. And we could turn to the right to walk away. Okay, good.
All right, guys, so real quick, I wanted to do this separate from when I was sitting down with Sensei to do the lesson, because I'm going to talk about him for a minute. And these are things that I really think you all need to know and understand. And because of that, I felt like it was better to do in a private setting. And here's what you need to know about Sensei Wehrhahn, or Wehrhahn Sensei. That is, he's actually a really great guy. I have had the opportunity to train with some pretty incredible teachers over the years, very, very famous, well-known people. There's only been one or two that I can think of that were really exceptional in the way that I'm going to talk about Wehrhahn Sensei. And that is that he actually has the ability to draw out the techniques in the student, in me, to communicate things in a way that I can understand. Having taught Yawara Jiu-Jitsu for many, many years, Filipino martial arts and submission fighting, I can tell you that it is very difficult to be able to communicate to each and every student that information, because everybody learns a little bit different. They have different backgrounds. They have different ways of absorbing information. Yes, you have the typical, there's auditory learners or visual learners or kinesthetic, haptic learners, and combinations of these things. And whether or not you believe that those models are true or not, people do learn differently. The mark, I think, of a good instructor is when they can take the information and impart it onto you in a way where you can absorb it and get better. In other words, to use jiu-jitsu as an example, if you go to a jiu-jitsu instructor because he's famous, the question you should be asking yourself is,
does he have any students that are winning tournaments? Because he could have won every tournament that ever existed. But if he can't produce students who win tournaments, is he a good instructor? No, he's a good competitor. So you see, that's the ability of the instructor, is he has to be able to make good students. And I really think from the time that I've spent with Wehrhahn Sensei that he has that ability, and the ability to talk to people in a kind and compassionate way to reach them. He is so patient. I stink at Muso Shinrin-ryu. I stink at everything he's been teaching me. It's very different. Some of the fundamentals are the same, but it's very different from the Koryu Kenjutsu and Sogo Bujutsu that I've studied. It is. That's not a bad thing. I like it. I like that it's different. But because it's different, it's very foreign to me in a lot of ways. And yet, he never belittles me, berates me, makes me feel like an idiot, even though I am. He is very kind, and he is able to communicate the details of the techniques in a way that I can grasp them. This has happened on every single private lesson I've had with him. I leave and go, oh, I get it now. And often he'll record those lessons and give me a copy or let me watch it again a few times so that I can catch the details that I didn't really absorb the first time when he said them. That does happen quite often. I'm a little bit slow on the uptake sometimes because it's a lot of information, new information coming at me. But the one thing I can say is he really has that ability to convey the information in a way that I can absorb it and that it is enjoyable. When my wife and I train with him, we're done. I'm not exhausted mentally and emotionally where I feel like I've just been put through a washing machine or a dryer. You get done, and it's not the physical training that's exhausting, it's the experience. That's not the case. It's actually a joy. I walk away feeling good about the experience. And yes, bad that I stink so bad, but that's not because of anything he's said and done. So hopefully this helps you guys to, maybe make a decision if you're on the fence about training with him. I'm not going to say you have to do it. All I'm trying to say is, hey, if you've been looking for somebody, you can't go wrong, in my opinion, with Wehrhahn Sensei because he's knowledgeable, kind, courteous, respectful, and just is really good at teaching. I really think it's you can't go wrong. Maybe that's the best way to say it. So God bless. Take care. Love y'all.